Train by day, Kyle Wigginton podcast by night, all day.
Capitalism actually gives power to the people. And I know we like, we're like indoctrinated to think that, capitalism is bad now and stuff. But he was saying that the reason that capitalism isn't working correctly for people is because people are divided. That the way capitalism works for people is that you have to unite behind capitalism and say, we're not going to spend money with this. Like, so the health insurance issue, like we all know health insurance is a big scam, right?
Right.
But people are like, well, I need it because, I've just been told I need it. And it's like, well, if everyone in America all of a sudden just goes and cancels all their health insurance, the companies are forced to
automatically would change. Overnight.
Yeah.
Anything. Yeah. The power is definitely always in the people. And that's the thing, like you said, the biggest, that's the math that I hate. Division, you know what I'm saying? Division separates everything, you know what I mean? So with that being said, because I post this a lot on all my social media, I always say that we have more similarities than we do differences. And it doesn't matter who you are culturally, you know what I'm saying? Because we all from the core want the same basic foundational things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Being able to eat, have a roof over your head, be able to enjoy your life and be healthy. And, you know what I'm saying, and just be able to be whoever you are, you know what I'm saying, without, I guess, judgment, whatever.
Yeah, it's whenever people want more and more and more and can't stop wanting more.
Right.
That's whenever it becomes a problem. And I think a lot of those people that I know that are that way with that mentality, they've never been poor. They've never been broke. So when it comes to actually being poor and being broke, that they scares the shit out of them. And so they just want more and more and more. So they never actually have that fear, but they don't understand that for them to take more and more and more, they have to take away from someone else.
I think that probably has a lot to do with it, but I think that in some instances, I think it might just be innately in some people, or it could be because of circumstances. It could be because a person is poor and they may have found a way to rise above that economic level that they were at, where they weren't happy and being able to thrive at. So I think that ultimately, I think it's within that person. You know what I'm saying? You are who you are. And because you can be poor monetarily, but be rich in spirit and rich in, you know what I'm saying, your health and how you treat people. That's a richness in that. But I think ultimately it's inside the person. But at the same time, I think when you're poor and you feel like you don't have as many options, you become more in survival mode.
Right.
And in this world, there's that you can't live in survival mode. I think we all maybe not. I mean, we all I think go through a level of periods where we have moments where it's a survival mode, where it's like, okay, I got to get out of this situation in order, because living to me is like when you can live and just be as much peaceful as you possibly can, because life to me is a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But like for me, I found my peace and my sense of freedom actually once I started street performing. Because I come from the corporate arena. I moved here in 2016, and I was kind of taking a hiatus. I have an IT background.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
So I had my last year on the job that I held, I was actually IT director for Gary Schools. So, and that was actually long before I moved here, like 2013.
Okay.
I
didn't know if it was like one of the COVID things that got
No,
you.
it wasn't COVID. No, it was me being just like,
just tired of the system.
Yeah. I wasn't necessarily tired of the system, but I was tired of what I had went through, and I needed a change. And when I moved here, I was actually just planning on taking a break for like maybe a year. I had a relative that was here.
I need to get that in there.
I'm sorry. I have a relative that was here that was Navy, military. So I was able to come down periodically and just visit New Orleans off and on. And I would try to come when it was off season, or not really off season, not really festivals, not Mardi Gras, just random days, weekends, or whatever, just to see what New Orleans was like on a normal basis. Because I considered moving here years ago. I came down after Katrina. I want to say whenever the year after Jazz Fest started back, I came to Jazz Fest for the first time because my ex, who was a doctor here, she graduated from Loyola. She went to school here. We came for that, and there was just something about New Orleans that drew me in at the time. And I said, man, I think I could live here. She was on the opposite end because she went to school here. She said, no, I think I went to school here, but no, I can live here. So anyway, I'm a spiritual person, so I felt that my relative being uh, based here at the time, it allowed me, like I said, to come here and see New Orleans and uh, feel what that draw was, what was drawing me in, and yeah. So anyway, I moved in 2016.
So I mean, what was drawing you in though? Just the vibe.
It was just something about the energy. And the thing I like history, and um I like studying things, and it can be whatever, anything.
Mhm.
And I was very intrigued by the story of Katrina. So the year that I came with her, you could still see the water lines in the building.
Oh
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And that just like it just freaked me out because number one, I can't swim. I can't swim. So I'm like, if I wasn't out of here, ain't no telling what would happen to me. But just to see how high those water lines were. And then I took a trip for the first time to the lower ninth. I
Mhm.
ended up running into this guy. I just called him Bobby the boatman because I can't remember his name, but he was actually working on the boat. And I just stopped and I talked to this guy for like maybe over 2.5 hours, because I was just intrigued by what had happened and everything. So it was just something about that. It just kind of spoke to me.
The people are
Um,
definitely awesome in the city.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's one of the reasons I've stuck around for so long. It's just because the people you're not going to find these type of people that you can sit down with and have a 2 hour conversation with anywhere else.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I since we put a table out front normally during the daytime, and sometimes I'll just sit
Mhm,
out there and
mhm.
just wait for somebody to walk up,
Right, right,
people to
right.
sit down at the table, and I'll just sit there and have the dopest conversation ever with them.
Right, right. And that's you know what, and that's the thing about um I think why what I do works so well is because and I said this in the interview that I did in New York, is that what I do with my improv and freestyle skills is that I make people feel seen when they're not
Mhm.
expected to be seen. Like in that instance, like see, if you have a table out here, some people just want to talk. You know what I'm saying? And you might feel like they have no one to listen to it. They don't feel like they have anything important to say. So
Yeah.
everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to be seen outside of being celebrities. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I
yeah,
think everyone should too. That's one reason we started this podcast. It's like I don't always have people on that have huge social media followings or are doing the coolest thing in the world. Sometimes we just have people on that have opinions
right,
because everyone can see what's going on in the world and
right,
everyone deserves to have their voice heard.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you so you were in IT and then you were like, this is not my cup of tea. Because for me it was the same thing, man. I was like, I worked IT for 3 years after school and I was like, I'm gonna blow my brains out if I keep doing this. There's like nothing I can't
Yeah.
do this.
You know, for me, man, honestly, I enjoy it because I love technology. I use a lot of technology in what I'm doing with all my equipment that I have.
Well, yeah, you can use technology and all this other
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
though.
yeah. But for me, it was more the politics. Because like I said, I worked for a school district.
Mhm.
So, it was public funding. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Nonprofit, blah, 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 blah. So what I am, number one, always I'm a real person. Like I can't fake who I am. What I am, you get authentically. So it's like I can't you playing a political game. I am who I am.
That gets me in trouble sometimes too, bro.
Yeah,
I'm the
yeah,
same way.
yeah. Because I don't believe in titles. I mean, I'm like, because I remember one time I had a meeting at the time because I was in administration. I had met with the superintendent, and she kind of like tried to put my feet to the fire in regards to some things that the board members wanted. And I told her, look, I appreciate my job and everything and all that. I said, but this doesn't define who I am. I said, I said I was who I am, my government name, which I'm not gonna say. This is who I was when I walked in the door. I'm gonna be that same person if and when I leave this door. And there will always be another job. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So I
She
said,
didn't
but
like that, did she?
I'm sure they didn't like it.
Yeah.
But I'm just an honest person first
Yeah.
and foremost.
I
So
think you should be. I don't
yeah.
think I mean there's no reason to disrespect anyone, even if it's a job.
Mhm.
Like, there's no reason to talk down to anyone. It's like we're all trying to do something together. Even running this business right here, like all the employees, we're like on a level playing field. Sure, at the end of the day, I get the last say,
Right, right.
but when we're running this place, we're all doing it together, and
Exactly.
I want them to
Exactly.
feel that way too.
Yeah, everybody should feel like they have a piece and it's important and not just a gear in a machine.
Yeah,
That's one thing about capitalism. Depending on the companies, you know what I'm saying? You could die today, you could leave today, and there's a replacement. It could be as soon as you walk out the door.
yeah,
There's not like a care package, like, oh, we loved you and gonna take care of your family for the rest of your life. I don't know if any too many companies can even afford to do that. But I think you get what I'm saying. It's a cold thing because it's not a person. It's
dude,
a
I've lost
machine.
friends over that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, we were having a conversation one night about war, and I was like, "There's no reason to have war anymore. It's so stupid to have that we're killing each other."
Hmm.
And the girl that I'm referring to was just like, "They're just cogs in the machine," and I'm like, "That's such a fucked up mentality to have.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not cogs in the
They're
machine. They're
human
humans."
beings.
Yeah.
And I just find that so like, and especially I'm a spiritual person, but to use the label of being a Christian or whatever, and you want to go and hurt people. To me, I'm like, no matter what you call, like, I believe in God. I come from a Baptist upbringing. My father was a minister. So, but even with that, I'm not gonna say I stray, but I don't label what I feel spiritually. I'm just a spiritual person,
Mhm.
but I do believe in there's a higher power that created us all because we come from someplace. There's a source. So, with that being said, when I think of God, I think God is love. God is not war. Because if that's the case, then I mean you're saying that God created these people to be inferior, and these people to be above those people, and I just don't see it like that. I
Mm.
believe that we were all born, especially you're born able bodied, limbs working. You have the ability to create the world that you want to have. You know what I'm saying? If you believe in, you know what I'm saying, in what you want and you can see it and then put the work in to have it.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
think you're on the money with that, man. I think more people should be spiritual rather than whatever religion they were born into,
Right.
because there's truth in all religions.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to study all of them to to find the truth out. Most people never break out of the one they were born into.
Right.
Yeah, for me, I found so much value in Hinduism, and
Mm.
it's one that most people don't even know exists.
Mhm.
But I mean, there's so much beauty in that, and then in how the yogis look at the chakras and the
Mhm.
body,
Right.
and like you were talking about earlier with the survival, being the survival mentality. Those are the first three chakras they're talking about, the survival
Mhm.
mentality.
Mhm.
So I mean,
Mhm.
once you break over those three, then you actually start getting into your emotional and spiritual self. And most people don't even know like that religion was talking about these things, but that they're trying to teach you how to live a better life as a human.
Right. Right.
And I
Right.
think that was the basis of all religions.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
somehow they've gotten the
Alter.
capitalism's got a hold of them too,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Alter the book.
It's
Stick
all about
generation.
money.
Yeah. Unfortunately, and money and fear.
Yeah.
Money. I think so. Money and fear, and and like I said, and the love of money. I'm like, I just truly believe that if you're following your heart, and especially if you're producing something that maybe the world wants to have access to, money will come.
Yeah.
Money shouldn't be anything that you have to worry about. But don't get me wrong, if you're in survival mode, because money is necessary to take care of
Mhm.
the basic needs. So I understand that portion. But beyond that, and I'll say this too, especially if you travel, living in America, bro, I'm like, even the poorest person, if you compare it to some of the places you have the opportunity to visit, it might be like third world countries.
Mhm.
You're kind of like very well off considering other people in other places.
Oh yeah.
Even though that's neither here nor there. But then here it becomes the division and the comparison thing
Yeah.
because you see something that makes you like, oh man, I want that, which is fine, but it shouldn't define you. And I even had to check myself because I'm not a materialistic person, but I like shoes. And that's one of the things. Like if I'm out, I'll see a pair of shoes, mostly sneakers, and I just try
Mhm.
to find unique. So that's my thing. I was like, I don't even need this many shoes.
Yeah.
How many pair of shoes can you wear at one time? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So it just and I'll
Well,
say this too.
even when you question that though, do you stop buying shoes or do you just keep buying them?
No, I don't buy. You know what? But I don't shop as much as I used to
Yeah.
though. Yeah, because I typically really I consider treating myself because I typically don't buy until I actually travel. And that's typically during the summer when
Mhm.
I leave New Orleans and go, doing shows and moving around. That's typically when I do shop.
Yeah.
But other than that, I try to keep it as basic as possible. And as long I got clothes on my back, I got plenty of whatever. So I don't. Yeah, I'm better than what I used to be. I put it to you like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like just buying things like that, I don't really do any of that anymore. I kind of gave it all away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like if you walk into my apartment now, and a lot of people think it's weird when they walk in there
Hmm.
because there's a bed and a desk where I
Hmm.
edit on,
Yeah.
and then I've just bought a sauna recently, like a little sauna
Yeah.
that I have in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean that's like all that's in my apartment. It looks very bare. And people think I just moved in there, but I don't know. I found that having a material thing just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't. I mean, it really doesn't. It creates clutter,
Yeah.
especially especially if it's in front of your face, and if you're not the most organized, you know what I'm saying. So I'm like, yeah, I totally agree with that.
Mhm.
I believe being as minimal as possible is great. And I'll say this too, like my ex, she kind of said something to me a long time ago to put things in perspective as far as like material things. And she asked, she said, "Would you want to have a big mansion and at times trying to figure out how you can keep the lights on and food on the table, or have a modest type home or dwelling and you can travel and have more options and see the world and things of that nature?" And it just made me sit back and think, I want the modest living, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you have more options, you can move around.
Is
You
that
know what
why
I'm
she's
saying?
your ex?
No, 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 no. Cause she, no, actually, no, cause she, cause I think every person we meet, there's a lesson in that. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? No,
Yeah.
she was a beautiful person. We had other issues beyond that, but
Yeah.
that was actually a nugget that I try to find something in every relationship that I have, especially if I separate from that person, that I can take and add to my, uh, I guess, pot of positivity that I can
Mhm.
use in my life. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. I think that's what with everyone too, not just relationship wise.
yeah.
Like there's a story that I tell sometimes on here. There was a man in my hometown. I think I was about 16 at the time, and he owned a glass shop.
Mm.
And one day I go to get my nick in my window repaired, and the guy just starts. It's a small town where I'm from, like
Mm.
2,000 people, so everyone
Mhm.
knows everybody. I didn't know everyone because I was 16,
Mhm.
but this man knew me and knew my family, and he started talking to me about like life shit, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's like dropping all these like nuggets, and I'm just like, whatever, dude, just fix the fucking window.
Right.
So finally, he fixed the window, and I leave. I think it's like 4 years later or something. I'm in college, and mom calls me and she's like, "Hey, did you hear that this happened?" And it was the his wife went to their son's house, shot the
Mm.
kid in the chest, killed the kid point blank, then went back to their house, shot the husband in the head, and then lit the house on fire and shot herself as the house was burning down. And I didn't hear any of that at all. But at that point in time, what he told me
Mm.
snapped back into my brain, and for some reason that
Wow.
like nugget of knowledge that he gave me, which was never live above your means. Like
Mm.
that was what he told
Yeah,
me. And
yeah, yeah.
I didn't even hear him when he said it.
Mhm,
But when
mhm.
she told me that, it was like,
You
bam.
heard it, but it
Yeah.
got cornered in the back. Yeah.
And then ever since then, I've been living that way. And there have been times in my life where I've had those down times
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I've been fine because I've been living that way.
Right, right. No, I feel that. I feel that. And that's the interesting thing too about, like, even with me starting the street performing, like say when I moved here, I initially was just considering myself taking off about a year. And I was actually studying to get my certification as a project manager.
Mhm.
And uh there was this guy on Frenchman. There's an assisted living building, right? It's the last building, the tallest building on Frenchman,
Okay.
after Spider Cat. And there was this guy on the weekends. He would be selling. He was grinding, super grind. He had like he was doing calypso music. He was selling dinners, blah 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 blah. So we were just talking one day because I would buy his he made the best macaroni and
Hmm.
grilled chicken. I would buy it like almost every week. So we were talking. He was like, "What's your story?" And I told him I had moved in from Chicago, and I said that I'm just taking a break, and I said eventually I'm gonna start looking for jobs. He was like, "A job," and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, maybe New Orleans isn't for you." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, he said the gold is in the streets. And I heard him, but I didn't hear him. I was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." So that was in 16. I started doing the street thing July 2017. So maybe it might have been about a year after that conversation or whatever.
Mhm.
And doing Essence. So once I started doing the street performing thing, and even on the first day, when I saw not to be fun, but the money that I made just on the very first day, it was cool. And I wasn't even freestyling actually on the first day.
What are you doing?
No,
Singing?
I actually was doing poetry. When I first started this, it's still called that, the unscripted experience. I started it with there was a guy named Daniel, and it's supposed to be a girl named Elena. And number one, I did it because I was nervous. I'd never street performed ever in my life, right? So Daniel was the MC, and he just had a lot of songs, and Elena was the vocalist. So my idea was he would be the rapper, she would be the vocalist, and I would do poetry. So I was literally doing poetry
Hmm.
and providing the sounds, and I kind of make beats kind of a little bit. And so yeah, And then what I found was I would do a poem and people were like, yeah, that's cool. Then it bounce.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I don't know if that's gonna work. And then so anyway, so one day, then I was waiting for Daniel, because matter of fact, that weekend we were supposed to meet on Friday. So to give it short of it, I chickened out until the very last day, which was Sunday. So Friday I backed out. Friday, Saturday I backed out. Sunday I said, man, I gotta do this just to, just see what this would be like. And like I said, I wasn't freestyling. So man. So anyway, we do it and we make money. I said, wow, that's pretty cool. So fast forward, one day I was waiting for Daniel to come, and I have this device, it's called a harmonizer, and I just made this beat, right? And I call it a mic check. So when I made the beat, I just started rapping about people. And that's when the freestyles, don't get me wrong, I've been freestyling before that, but I never did it publicly.
Right.
So I just saw how people started reacting to it. And that's really when it started.
Yeah, you're
Really,
bringing them in the show at that point.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because otherwise, like, the way I freestyle, I can do it without a hiccup. You wouldn't even know I'm freestyling. And a lot of people don't like rap, or they think they don't like rap because of maybe a lot of the content they may have heard in the past or whatever. You know what I'm saying? What they hear about it. But if I was just standing up there and I was just spitting straight right to straight bars, yeah. If you're in hip hop, you'll probably listen. But if you're just a regular average person that's just not into rap, you're gonna keep on walking. But if I'm talking about you,
Oh yeah.
you have no choice but to at least question. Wait, hold up, was he talking about me? And so, and that's when that started, and really, yeah.
Well, dude, that's such a dope thing to do too. I mean, freestyling for me, it's tough. Like I know it's
Mm,
tough for me. I mean, some people out there are probably really good at it. I know you are really good at it. And I saw you with Harry Mack on there, dude.
yeah,
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 you
yeah,
guys are both just insane, man.
yeah,
Like
and
I've been following him for a long time. I just stumbled across you here
right,
recently, and
right,
I'm like, this
right,
dude's local.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, man,
I gotta get him on the pod, man,
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's so cool, man, what you guys do, and then seeing people walk by and like throwing what they're wearing into the song,
yeah,
that doesn't
yeah,
even make sense in my brain.
yeah, yeah, man. I mean, and it's funny because people act. I'm like, I just can't explain. I just have the ability to do it. Don't get me. I said, like, don't get me. I've worked on it. But the funny thing, going back to the Harry Mack situation, is that leading up to that day, which was totally organic,
Oh,
we
really?
did not know each other at all. I mean, I had heard of him
Yeah.
because people were sending me his videos, and I was actually getting pissed, and not because of Harry Mack, 'cause it's not a knock against him, but I'm like, share my damn videos. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. So I was in Washington Square this summer, literally, and I'm doing my normal show, but in Washington Square, and who walks through? Harry Mack with a camera crew, right? So I'm just like, and what you don't see in the video, I start going in on him, like how I normally have. I'm talking, I say, yo, bro. I said, I said, yeah, I've seen you, people pass me your videos, blah, 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 blah. They've been comparing us. And I said, all this. And I'm like, and then eventually I drew him into me.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, we should do a collab. And that's how that started. But I wish I had that because I wasn't I'm so pissed I wasn't running my cameras at the time. Because I was literally talking to him. And then yeah, he came over and then you saw, we did that. We rocked out, man. It was dope. It
Yeah.
was dope. So I could finally say, like, when people say, hey, have you heard of him? I said, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I just show him the video versus them sending me his videos. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
so
So
I have a question about Harry Mack for you. You may be able to answer. I've asked this to tons of people, but the guy's so good at freestyling. Why has he never come out with like hit
a dope.
songs?
I think there's a difference, man. I just think that there's a difference between being able to rap and being able to make like hit songs. And I don't know. I think you just either gotta have a knack for that. And the funny part, because I literally create songs. Because every time I'm rhyming, it's a song. So I'm making hooks. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
even if I'm rhyming over beats that are obvious, I typically change the hooks. Or I'm like, as of late, I just try to find beats that I just rock to,
Mhm.
and I just literally just come up with just come up with hooks. And that's one of the main things with a song. You got to have a hook.
It hooks people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
literally, yeah. So I think that's it. And I think too is that the difference between writing a song and freestyling, you're literally sitting down and writing. And when I'm freestyling, it's just literal, just free thought, and without giving, uh, I guess, deep analysis of it because
Mhm.
you can't have that. It's too quick. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're really doing freestyle. So for me,
You should just have somebody analyze your bars, man. Because I'm sure you got some bars out there that are
Yeah,
just sick.
that's why I try to record. I mean, I got a lot of stuff, but the thing, but I have the ability, right? Because like I said, I was known for poetry before I even left Chicago and
Yeah,
all that. Nope. The only people that knew I could freestyle was just my friends and family. I never did this publicly, never, and I never planned to use it to sustain me or anything. You know what I mean? I just love hip hop,
yeah.
and I don't get me wrong. I know I was very good at it, not being bragging about it, but when they say
It's a rare skill to have.
yeah, yeah. And I'm saying when they say it takes 10,080 hours to be an expert, I'm well beyond it.
Yeah,
I'm like well beyond it. So it's like, but it's something for me, freestyling is like just having a conversation, like a normal English, but I can just make words rhyme,
yeah.
in an instant. So yeah. But yeah, but no, but rocking with Harry Mack, that was major because it was just dope because like it was organic, it wasn't planned, so it was meant for us to cross paths. And I literally said that.
Yeah.
I literally said that to him. And so I was just glad that that happened. I mean,
Hopefully, you guys stay in contact, right?
yeah, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not like we're not on the phone like this because life goes on. He's because I think he just moved to New York, honestly,
Mm,
because he's doing more videos I'm seeing in New York.
mm.
But I got in contact with the camera guy, the camera crew and all this stuff like that. So yeah, I'm sure if I reach out, but we have we're both busy lives. And I'm like, um, if there was a reason if I wanted to do some type of other collaboration, but I think we did that one. I like to keep it
Organic.
unless we're
Yeah.
doing something else. You know what I'm saying? Um,
I tell it to all my friends that make music, though. I'm like, dude, like, reach out to someone. You never know when they're going to say, yeah, let's collab on something. You just
yeah,
never know. So, I mean,
right,
like,
right.
I'm putting I got buddies in Chicago and stuff too. I'm trying to get my New Orleans people that are in music to like
Hmm.
reach out to them.
Hmm.
I think a lot of them, I don't know why they don't do it, but
I mean, yeah,
I'd be hitting everybody up for this thing right here. I'm like, yo,
yeah,
come
yeah,
on. I don't
yeah,
care.
yeah, yeah,
Even if they tell me no, fuck you. I'm like, all right, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I
I'll
mean,
try again next year.
yeah, yeah. It's all man. I think that maybe people have, we're all juggling things. So maybe and we all have, I don't know, we all have different reasons for doing or not doing things. Like I collab with people on the spot. Like even when I'm no matter where I'm at, especially like in New York, if I see somebody that can vocal, that can sing, boom, let her get on. I
Mhm.
really don't do a lot with a lot of rappers, it's depending on, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause especially for me, it's like it's an etiquette thing. And this is the one thing about street performing if I'm doing my show and somebody walks up and they just approach me like this,
Mm.
and they're not, I'm like, what? You
That's
know what I'm
rude.
saying? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's real. I'm like, you're not even listening. And then I might, yeah. So anyway, but like if I have like have instances where I've had people that just came, they just vibe with me. And I can see they wanted to either say something. I'll say, you want to get on the mic or something? And I invite them on like
It's
that.
ballsy too, though, man. To like approach somebody like that whenever
Yeah.
especially when they're as good as you. Like to walk up to somebody like you and be like, "Yo, let me get on the mic."
Yeah, and a lot of times, man, people are egged on by their friend. Typically, it's people being egged on by people that are around them, telling them that they're this and they're that,
Yeah.
and they're really not that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, so yeah, man. But I invite collabs, especially when I see people doing instruments. Have instruments. I said it's jam
Yeah.
because I can have a guy that's his name is Alan, and I met him during COVID when I went to New York for the first time doing this. And man, we created all music spontaneously in the moment. We did it again this summer for the first time since then. And we damn near did a whole album
Mm.
in two different sessions live. And we just literally like because he drums, but he when we first started, all he had was a kick. He had a kick, a snare, cymbal, and maybe one other, maybe a tom. And
Mhm.
now he's expanding. Like we've all kind of advanced because this is like 2020. And so
That's
now
something that holds people down too, starting.
oh yeah, yeah. That's the hardest thing ever with
Yeah.
anything. To you can tell your mind you're gonna do this, but unless you make that motion, whether it's your walking motion, is a hand motion where you're writing. If you don't make that first step, then nothing will ever happen.
More than everyone trying to like be Joe Rogan right at the very beginning, the podcast world or
Mhm.
something. Like if you see the first podcast that we did, if you like scroll back down to the bottom of YouTube, it was just like this shitty webcam with no
Mhm.
lights or anything. I mean, it was like not good at all, but we started.
Right.
We got the ball rolling.
Yeah. Another thing about that too, because it's not even about the equipment. It's about what the purpose is and what the heart is behind what you're doing. Equipment, you
Mhm.
can have the most fancy equipment in the world and not create a hit record, not create a podcast or anything that somebody even wants to hear. I think it's having number one, the passion and the heart in it to do it for the right reason. You know what I'm saying? Not just to chase a fad or something because everybody else is doing it. So I think that, and everybody, there's an audience for everything. So, you
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Yeah, dude, I do this because I love it, man. I love meeting new people, and this is a good way to meet people right here.
yeah,
Like it's hard. Like I never would be able to hit you up and be like, "Yo, man, come by the bar. Let's have a 2 hour conversation or
right,
something." But I could be
right.
like, "Yo, come have a podcast on me,"
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like, "Yeah,
yeah,
let's do it. Let's do it."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it also gives something back for you guys to promote too. Because I mean, I throw the footage your way and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. No, man, I appreciate it, man. This is cool, bro. Like, because I love having conversations, and then like, even when I'm doing my shows, there are people that they may come back around when I'm done, and we just talk, and they say,
Mhm.
man, you know, just to know more about me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So no,
Well,
it's cool.
like I was saying, everyone has great opinions. I was looking at your Instagram page, and I saw you were talking about politicians should have their
The term
term
limits.
limits. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that's something that you people see you as a freestyle person or they make music, but you also have opinions on these things because you're an
yeah.
intelligent guy.
Right, right.
So I mean, how do you feel about these things?
I think because times change, things like they're trying to tear up the Constitution, but
Hmm.
yet you have people that have been holding certain jobs for 30, 40 years, and they're like, and I don't believe in ageism, but I think that there is a time where your energy changes. And don't get me wrong, because there might be some people that might be 70, and they still might be vigorous and have that, and maybe even innovative, but not all of them. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So I just think that, yeah, I think they're, and then too, I think it will bring more it potentially more integrity back, because if you know you're not going to be there long, you're going to try to do, at least I believe, try to do your best or as close as you possibly can to at least I will hope to leave a legacy that says something good about you, versus like you in and then you get voted out, or like you get comfortable like the Supreme Court justices and things of that nature because they're there for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, who does that? I mean, everything evolves, but not every human mind doesn't evolve. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's the way they're running. I mean, Supreme Court won the Congress, all of Congress. Also insane to me that you have these ancient people that are up there making
right,
laws for these
yeah,
young people. We need to get young blood in there, man.
yeah.
Because I mean, especially when you have people there that are millionaires and billionaires, like they don't know what the average
No,
person's life is like.
they're just used to getting that check
Yeah, it's all it
and
is.
comfortability. And maybe a lot of times, because like you said, I think that when you get it, you want more and you want more. And you might be feeding your family, you might be feeding this person. But I think if it just becomes greed, because I think once you reach a certain level, how much is enough? You know what I mean? Because another thing too, especially a lot of people like celebrities, things they don't even pay for half the shit. You know what I mean? They get
Mhm.
stuff for free. You know what I'm saying? Because if they walk into an establishment, they have enough energy behind them, they're gonna get a free meal. As long as they do a video, they do
Yep.
a drop or whatever. I just think that greed and, like I said, and the love of money is just it's the worst. I think it's the worst drug known to man, depending on who you know
But
who attaches itself to
it's
it.
bred into us at a young age. So
Yeah.
how do you get that out of us?
Education. And but the thing is, you can't teach people, I think it just has to be in you, is to be compassionate
Mhm.
about people other than yourself, to make you think about the next person. And I will say this, one of the best things about me street performing, it gives me is to taught me or make me relearn to just look at people as people, because I meet people from all walks,
Mhm.
rich people, people that don't have much. And I'll put it to like this. There's been days when I had a homeless person give me $1, and I have somebody that may have tipped me $300. That $1 for that homeless person hits my heart more than that $300, because that person just has disposable. Even though he can have the greatest, they can have the same, but in my mind, I know this guy doesn't have it. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So that dollar feels like $1,000 to me, and he's showing that he really appreciates what I'm doing, because yeah, he's giving me probably, I'm assuming probably last, maybe close to his last, or maybe just don't care about it, but he cared enough because he's really feeling what I'm doing, and that
Right.
really makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel that what I'm doing feeds people. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah. Especially I mean, the $1 for him is probably the same as the $300 for the other guy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, it equivalents out. I had a point there I was gonna make. Forgot about it. Mm, brain.
He'll come back. She'll come back.
Maybe it will. Yeah, I saw. I think one of the big problems are today we don't have good role models. And I saw something else you was posting about was the NBA players. They got
Yeah.
hit for
For the
illegal gambling.
gambling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like those are people that young kids look up to. And
Yeah.
if they don't even have good role models to look up to, like, oh well, these guys they're doing illegal shit and they already made it. So like maybe I should do some illegal shit.
Yeah. But honestly, at this point in the game, with what's been happening politically, I think everything is hitting the fan. You know what I mean? Because um,
But will it change anything? Because yes, everything is coming to light right now, but is it going to change anything?
well, I don't. I honestly, and I try to be an optimistic person. I think it's gonna get bad, worse before it even gets anything close to being better.
Mhm.
And I think we're gonna really have to just buckle in for some tough happenings and with things that happen. Because like for me, because along with that post, I said, if you read it further, I said they are arresting them, but they're arresting on producing those Epstein files,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which is on a high, you know what I'm saying? Because
It's like a
particularly,
distraction
yeah,
to keep
yeah,
you away from
yeah, to
that.
keep you away from. I'm like, if you're gonna, bad is bad. So if you're gonna put out the bad, put it out.
Mhm.
Don't just pick this, that's, and the third. If you're gonna make it across the board,
That is
don't,
such a strange thing.
yeah,
The whole Epstein. It's like why? Just put them out there. Like, what do you think people are going to come? You think they're
because it's
going to come
gonna hurt
kill
a
him or
lot
something?
of
Like,
it's
what do you
gonna,
think?
yeah. No, the thing about it, there's a lot of people probably on that list that are looked up at or notable, you know what I'm saying, that are on that list.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have came out already. And I think that it would break a lot of it would break a lot of things.
Well, yeah, I've heard the argument that all the people that are on the list weren't diddling little kids or whatever. Some of them just went to the island for vacation.
Or whatever it is, let it. To me, it's like I think I don't know if it's actual Bible quote, but it said the truth will set you free. So I'm like, why hide it? To me, it's just like watching a suspense movie. It just builds.
Mhm.
You still want to see the ending. It's not gonna, no matter how much you throw this at the situation, you still want to know what's behind that door.
Damn, what if that
What's
is the
in,
end of the movie, bro? They release the list and the movie ends. The
I
credits
don't,
roll.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
You think we're building to like a war?
I'm hope not, but with the way that things are being dialed in and the way things are being pushed and
Kind of seems like it, doesn't it?
yeah, it seems like the pot is being stirred purposely to
Yeah.
cause that. Yeah, definitely. I'll put it like this. To me, the president of the United States is for the United States, not for a particular segment of the culture. And the figurehead of the president should speak to the people, not to one side of the people.
Mm.
And so the rhetoric that I've been hearing, they're just labeling, and I don't consider myself, I'm not a Democrat. I'm just a person that seeks knowledge. And if it's right, I'm gonna put it out there. If it's positive, I'm gonna put it out. If it's negative, I'm gonna put it out there because it needs to be known,
Mhm.
educational purposes. But to aim as a figurehead that's supposed to be guiding the nation, and you're calling one side of people insane and terrorists. Speaking of you, that person is considered a role model, whether they want to be it or not. And the power of the tongue is very strong, and especially coming from a level of that. And when you have people, I think the person that's in charge now, he's almost being created and put on a pedestal and treated like an idol to a certain
It's weird.
yeah, a certain segment of the country.
Bro,
So
somebody was calling him prophetic the other night. I'm like,
yeah,
you shouldn't. Don't ever say that about
no.
somebody.
And think about, I have, anyway, yeah. Man, and I just think that by it's almost like Simon Says. Just imagine him being Simon Says. Simon Says do this. Simon Says do that. And those people fall. I'm gonna say minions. They'll act on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the January 6th situation. When he
Mhm.
spoke on it, he literally he lightly spoke on it. He didn't say go, but he basically told those people to go. If you feel this way, about democracy, go and do this, blah blah blah. Whatever.
So he's a Republican. Do you think that we're ever going to, again, he obviously is talking shit about the Democrats, right?
Exactly.
Do you think that we're ever going to have an independent candidate
I
as a
think it
president?
would
Because I
take a
think that's what we need is something like
yeah.
that. But I don't know if like our system is set up for that.
I think it's gonna take it's gonna bro. It's gonna take. I believe the system to break. I'm sorry. I believe it's going to take for the system to break for something like that. But what I will say is, and I'm not. I like the guy in New York that's running for mayor.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I all I and the main thing I know about what I feel about him is new energy,
Hmm.
and that's just what I want to see. It is not no matter what you do, nothing's going to be perfect the first time around. But if your heart is in the right place and your aim is to be um for us all, you can build from that. Just give that person the opportunity.
So I think that was the argument with Trump initially, because we've had career politicians our entire, I guess, presidency, or my entire life anyway. And then whenever Trump was coming about, people were like, "Oh, let's get something new in there,"
Mhm.
and still it didn't really change anything.
Yeah, but I think it's because of how he came in the door, bro. It's like he's a bully to me. He just is. I mean, like I said, you can like the phrase we would use where I'm from say you get more with honey than you would with shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It
yeah,
is you can be saying the same thing, but it's the way you say it.
right.
Um, because these are some terrible things, bro. I mean, like just some really bad things. And like I said, you're the president of the United States, not the president of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not the president of just the Democrats, or you're the president of the United States. So
It's so weird to me that you have these two parties that are so divided on stuff. It's like there's a right and a wrong way to do things. I
yeah,
don't understand why there's such a divide. Like if people are hurting out here and hungry, we need to get them food and water.
I think it's purposely a divide because there's good actors and bad actors on both sides, and it comes back to money because these people are paid
Mhm.
to be this, to be that. And that's on both sides. You could be a Democrat that's really not true Democrat. It's more of an opportunist because they're trying to get that money and get, you know what I'm saying? It's the money, it's the money, it's the money that's driving this.
Yeah, the lobbyists.
Yeah. Because I've always said this before. Because one thing I do agree, one of the things I do agree with that I heard Trump say, it's just the way it says, but I think that American businesses should be here first to take care of Americans
Mhm.
versus having businesses cross seas where they're saving money and blah 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 blah. I think you should. Yeah, I think corporations should be based here, and then if you then expand where you feeding everybody has opportunity. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things I agreed. And you might have said it differently, but I think that yeah, if you have more of your money's being made here, you're gonna hopefully, I would think, treat the situation better and not just be cheap because they're trying to watch their bottom line.
That's what they're doing.
You
Yeah.
know,
And then and the whole tax situation with corporate structures is insane. Like they're not even paying their fair share in taxes.
yeah. In some instances, like you have people like I'm trying to think. You have some corporations that they'll move into a city and don't even have to pay anything
Yeah.
because they're saying they're providing jobs or they're, you know what I'm saying.
Well,
So
if you open businesses in certain cities, like Delaware, I think it's one of them that they don't charge you income tax, and then if you
mm,
have your IP in another country and you're
mm,
actually leasing your IP from another country, you don't have to pay taxes on that. You can actually write that off on your taxes, so offset.
wow, yeah,
So I mean,
yeah,
they're doing that kind of stuff, and it's like yes, it's really smart. You're working the system, but is it fair to everyone that's living inside of the system?
right, exactly. Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, for me, in regards to that, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. I hope that it doesn't come down to some really physical destruction in the streets.
Well, dude, I've been hearing
Um,
the whole like food stamp thing. Like
that's
people are,
definitely going to cause because
yeah.
the thing about it is if you live on your block and you never seen beyond your block, you only know your block, meaning that the way that you source how you survive is within that radius.
Mhm.
And if you don't know how to explore, and yeah, you're gonna be in panic mode. You're gonna be so yeah, and that in turn is gonna affect those people around you. So yeah, it's gonna
No, you're exactly right. I had a lady on a while back. She was talking about the homeless situation,
Mhm.
and she was saying that even the way we deal with that's wrong because of what you just outlined. Whereas, like, you have these homeless people that are used to being under the bridge or whatever, they're used
Right,
to that area,
right, right,
and then you take them and you uproot them and stick them in another part of town they don't even know.
right,
They immediately don't have anyone around they know, so they have no friends. They have no way to get food because they've been getting food at another place.
right,
So I mean, they're like, I'm gonna go back to the bridge. I'm gonna go back to what I know.
right, right.
So
Yeah,
I mean, we're dealing with these issues incorrectly,
yeah,
and this whole government shutdown shit, that's fucking insane. I don't. You get paid to do one thing, do it.
right. Yeah. I just and I like I said, I try not to get political. I just try to educate. I educate myself and in turn give that same information out to. That's why I always say I'm educating myself. Hope you do the same. Uh,
Yeah, but it's not getting political these days. It's like people with brains need to pay attention.
right. So you're aware of what's happening, so it
Yes,
doesn't slap you in the face. And that's what I basically tell people. I'm not a politician. I'm not. I'm educated and try to educate myself for the rest of my life. And I want to know what's happening, so I can at least prepare myself for it or brace myself for it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So yeah.
and it seems like these days we're bracing more than we are doing anything.
Right. Yeah.
Well, dude, you got anywhere else you want to take this?
I mean,
Like, I've enjoyed the conversation today, man.
yeah, me too. I mean,
Yeah, we'll have to do this again for sure.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm New Orleans. That's where I live. You catch me Frenchman Street.
Go ahead and hit him with the socials too. What's the
Yeah,
socials?
the Real Unscripted on Instagram, Facebook, KJO Unscripted, TikTok, the Real Unscripted. I'm pretty much I perform on Frenchman Street Thursday through Sunday, unless I'm out of town on gigs or things of that nature. But I also do pop-ups around in town. I'm a freestyle artist, but I'm just a passionate person. I just love people in general. And I just want to see the world in the best state that it can be. You know what I'm saying? Where we can all hopefully have some type of peace of mind and be comfortable with living in amongst each other and treating each other like we should as human beings, no matter who you are, culture, color, all that. Just treat everybody like you want to be treated, like they used to tell us in kindergarten,
Yeah,
and
right.
we'd be better for it.
Absolutely, dude. I've really enjoyed the conversation today. People get out and see the guy. He's phenomenal at what he does. And he's also got a wise head on his shoulders. Look forward to seeing where you go, brother.
Appreciate you, bro.